Good evening, folks. This is Jay from Cold Nights, and you are listening to the Cold Takes podcast. We have two very special guests today. We have Chatin, also known as Holy Shirt, joining us once again. If you guys remember, he was on the video with Visions a couple of weeks back. It was a very successful video, and I'm sure we're going to have another one here. And we also have a wonderful family member of his, Nelia, who is a pretty successful Twitch streamer. So I'm going to throw it over to Nelia first. And why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, Nelia?
Yeah, so nice to meet you, everyone. I'm Nelia, otherwise known as Nelia Nelly. I've been on Twitch probably about 7.5 to 8 years as a viewer, moderator, and streamer. And what I try to do with my content is create a chill environment for people to hang out, unwind after the day, or starting a nice weekend. And fostering a nice community that people can just come and relax to, because I enjoy it. I enjoy creating that community, and if other people get enjoyment, then I'm doing something right.
Good deal. Yeah, I completely agree. It's a huge part of what we try to do on Twitter and on YouTube for sure. We got a lovely little group going, and we're always trying to add more people to that. So Chatin, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well, Jay.
So how's that relaunch going?
It's pretty successful. I mean, it's only about 2 weeks in, and gained about 30 plus subscribers. I've gained like almost 10,000 views. It's not bad. Mostly shorts, but definitely helps and boost that confidence getting back into it. So
shorts are totally the wave of the future on YouTube for sure.
Yeah.
I know I've already seen you pull a couple epic pulls on your Pokemon videos.
Oh yeah. That stuff's good. Yeah, I'm starting off slow with the Pokemon content, but eventually gonna branch out into more of the gaming like I used to. Pokemon content is just really easy for me with my current health situation. I can sit there for 10 minutes, open a couple packs of cards, and then just edit the video afterwards. It's a lot more chill than a 4-hour gaming session. So
yeah, for sure. And I was just saying before we started here that you've inspired me, and I might open some of these promo packs I keep buying for the pictures on the front. I just picked up a Sprigatito one for the new Paldea Pokemon, so I'm probably going to try opening that out and see. I don't know if that's the exact content that my viewers are used to, but I think a lot of them would probably be interested in it, so it should be fun. Tonight we're going to be talking about what it's like to stream on Twitch, and kind of the pros and cons of that, and what you can really do on that platform to grow your presence in the community. So I know both of you have been fairly active on Twitch, correct? Chatin, you have as well, right?
I used to do it a lot when I was really heavily into the Warcraft. I would do like the Mythic Plus scene, where it's just like high end content for the game. And I'm currently a Twitch affiliate, but because I haven't been on it for so long, I've lost so many followers. It's ridiculous, because like every year Twitch does like a wipe for followers.
Yeah.
And I haven't done a stream in over 3 years. So yeah, my followers went from like 300 and something to like 40.
It sounds like it might be time for a triumphant return.
It might be, yeah. But I mean, even with only the 40 followers or whatever I have, and I haven't rebranded that yet either, because I just Twitch is a whole nother ball game. That it still let me keep the affiliate status, so I technically still have one emote people can use.
That's awesome. Good deal. So Nelia, how many followers do you have on Twitch?
400 and some change. Let me double check here. It's been a minute. Let's see here. I have 432 currently on Twitch.
That is incredible. As someone who just started getting into it, I see that as something to look up to.
I'm happy to provide some inspiration. I've been streaming for a while now. I definitely focus more on the kind of the casual fun aspect of that. and I'm more than happy to elaborate. But I did try the whole content schedule along with full-time work, and I feel personally that the more casual approach is definitely building the community, be it slower but healthier.
So when you say casual, how many times a week are you streaming?
So I was streaming about 4 times a week. I ended up moving and having a job switch semi recently, so that's cut into it. So right now it's currently about 2 to 3, and I'm going to start branching out to weekdays again. So about my goal is 2 nights a week and 2 times on the weekend, or give or take depending on what the week throws at me. But it's very casual. Streams are only about 2 to 4 hours long unless it's a special. And I try to kind of engage in my Discord and community outside of that, along with YouTube. Because I'm very much the mindset of creating content that is engaging, not necessarily long-winded. So how do I explain that? Where you have individuals who will stream like 8-9 hours, but they really only have the energy that they want to give back to the community for say 2 to 4. And I want to give my community the best energy that I can. So I tend to keep it short, sweet, and uplifting the best I can.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that when you tune into some of these folks that do those subathons and stuff, and you're like, wow, you look like you're about to fall asleep. And so am I, because I'm watching you. But that sounds pretty neat. So how important is it to kind of integrate other platforms like Discord and Twitter into your Twitch?
Oh, supremely important. So to kind of give you a background of myself, I've been a Twitch viewer of probably about 8 years now. I think my longest sub is about 7.5 to a streamer I watch, who I'm very familiar with. And I also modded for a full-time streamer for a couple of years, about 2 to 3 years, to see the back end of that. And the inherent growth on Twitch is very low. So you're in a market of saturation. So take a look at let's pick a popular game. Let's pick like League of Legends, for example. You go to the Twitch directory for League of Legends, how many people are actually scrolling past the first 10 streamers that are on there listed as the highest viewers?
Probably not very many.
No. So discovery on Twitch is not really viable. So if you were putting all of your effort into Twitch, you won't see the growth that you would want unless you branch out the platforms, say YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, in evergreen content. So what I mean by evergreen content is when you stream on Twitch, you're live. You're live at that moment. That is when your content is consumed. Evergreen, YouTube videos, TikTok posts, things that can be watched at any time of the day, regardless of your live, or if you're live rather, has the chance to reach a much wider audience and bring them towards your live stream. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. They use that term quite a lot in the YouTube lingo with like collection videos and stuff. Because you may make a video that's pertinent to a current game, either a first impression or a review, but realistically, no one's going to consume that 3 years from now. But if you make like a Wii U collection video, that's something that can be consumed in like perpetuity. So for sure. So do you have a huge presence on Twitter? Do you have a lot of followers over there? What's your like secondary platform?
So currently, as far as the other platforms are concerned, it's been a long day, excuse my stumble of words there. I have about 132 followers on Twitter, 98 subs on YouTube and TikTok, which is an interesting platform because it varies so significantly.
I agree with
TikTok
that.
is the only one that I have not got into at all. So I literally know nothing about it. I know
I got lucky with mine.
Yeah, it definitely fluctuates. I have about 88 followers on there. I less focus on the actual followers or growth out I'm receiving, and more, is my content something that I'm proud of? Am I bringing kindness and value to my community? Am I having fun? We all want to see growth. We want to see our content grow and our hobbies flourish. I encourage everyone to not lose sight of why you're doing this in the first place, and to enjoy the ride, essentially.
I think that is advice that is tremendous, because I think that there are a lot of content creators out there that don't actually like the content they create.
And as a viewer, as someone who's watched a lot of content over YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, even Mixer back in the day before that, you know, faded out.
Remember Justin TV before Twitch?
Oh, look, we're showing our age now, okay? And I've even watched some Facebook streams just to see the different interaction. And a lot of people are focused on the growth in numbers that they lose sight of the enjoyment of creating content, of building that community. And that to me is a shame. Not that you should be shamed of yourself, but to rekindle what you like about content and what you enjoy and what you can bring to the community, you know, what the community brings back to you. It's kind of a give and take. So enjoy what you're doing. Aim for growth, but don't get so caught up on it. It ruins the fun for, you know, the journey you're on.
Absolutely. We actually have a podcast coming up next week about mental health and the myriad issues that face content creators. And I think that if you're not fully immersed and enjoying the content that you're creating, you're much more susceptible to that. It's really hard to look at what you're doing. And I think a lot of creators, myself included, need to consume their content from time to time like they were a viewer that was not initiated with the community, and see if it's as refreshing and invigorating and interesting as you think it actually is. And I think that some introspection can be good there. I know that, you know, it can get frustrating when you're not having the success that you may see other people having. And you can't get that through emulating them, because you have to be true to yourself, because you may see some initial success because they're doing something that's popular or that's catching on. But if you don't like it, eventually this is going to wear down on you. And I think that's a big part of why you see so many people quit streaming in YouTube within like the first year. I'm coming up on my year on YouTube, and it's been a roller coaster. And I would be lying if I didn't say there was days that I almost had tears in my eyes because I know how much I worked on something and it didn't really pay off. And I think another huge part of that, which you had kind of touched on, is having that community behind you. When I get frustrated with the performance of a video, you know, a good portion of my community is other content creators, some less successful, some equally successful, and many that are more successful. And it's nice to be able to get a cross section of advice from different levels of success and levels of like integration on these different platforms. So I think that's huge too. And I think there's also a lot of YouTubers and streamers that fail to properly interact with their audience. You know, you can click on some of those popular streams and you kind of get to a critical mass where you have so many people that you can't possibly interact with them, even if you have moderators assisting you. You know, that's first world problems. You know, I hope one day to have the problem that I have so many fans I can't interact with them all. But I think a lot of people handle that poorly. So how do you go about handling, like 400 to me sounds like quite a lot. Like if you have 20 or 30 people in your stream and they're active in the chat, how do you go about keeping up with that?
Well, so the way I go about streaming, regardless if it is slow or busy. So I've actually seen the most busiest when I'm playing community games such as Golf with Friends, Jack in the Box, birthday streams, like actual events that I'm running where I push myself to do 8 hours because, hey, that's what I want to do for the day. It's not something that is a slog to me. It's something I want to do. So the way I keep chat engaged, regardless of if it's one viewer or 20 viewers, is I continue to talk about my day and kind of engage them in a way that makes sense. So I do a lot of morning streams on the weekends. I work a first shift job, so I'm up fairly early, do a couple hours, and I kind of encourage chat to talk about their weekend in relation to whatever we're playing. You know, an example being I played Power Wash Simulator the other weekend. It's really fun if you haven't played it. And it was the Tomb Raider level. So kind of engaging chat of their experiences with Tomb Raider, if they've ever power washed, tell me about their week. Give chat options to respond to you. And if no one's responding, don't get discouraged. Continue your conversation, continue your engagement. Because something I think that a lot of streamers and content creators overlook is quote unquote lurkers, is people in the background watching your stream who don't really want to engage in chat. They just kind of want to hang out. They want to chill. And those viewers are just as valuable as someone typing, line after line of communication. So as long as you continue to engage is my philosophy, and keep at it and try not to get discouraged if no one's responding at that time, then you build your own enjoyment, and you build enjoyment for chat.
Good deal. So Chatin, like on a platform like TikTok, do you get a lot of engagement from the viewers on that? Is there a lot of comments and questions?
Mostly likes. Comments are very rare. Like I have multiple videos with hundreds of likes, or even on for instance Instagram, it's the same idea as TikTok with the reels. Like I'll get one video with like 7,000 views and hundreds of likes but no comments. And so it's most of my stuff is either meme or it's a cat video for that kind of stuff, stuff that I know will generate some traction with my name, but it's very easy to I'm not going to say pass up, but very easy to blend in, I guess. And that's just because it's the same stuff that I post on shorts. I just cross-platform them all. And one video that did terrible on YouTube, I think it only got like 600 or a couple hundred views, and it did like 6,000 on TikTok, and I gained a bunch of followers from it. But I really haven't had the success on TikTok since. So like I'm at where I need to be to stream on TikTok, which is 1,000 followers, but I get like likes but very little comment engagement. I guess I'm just not cool enough.
I don't think that's it. You're pretty cool.
So you are very cool. To kind of pipe in on that, short form content rarely gets comment engagement.
Yeah.
So you could take Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. The actual TikTok that had the most comments, which I think their accounts are now gone, was an Overwatch play of the game, where they were arguing if the play was all that impressive. It's just between two commenters. So that was interesting to see. So I'm getting distracted here. Short form content is there to consume very quickly. You're on public transit, you're on a break, you're walking from your car to the grocery store. The small amount of time that you're engaging in short form content, it's not going to have the same impact as conversing in a Twitch chat or a YouTube live stream or a Discord, but it is a great way to get you and your content out there. If you can make those short form content be engaging and catching, then you can get a lot of traction on that, not only on those platforms, but a small percentage bringing over to your live streams and less short form content.
Absolutely. For sure. I've dabbled a little bit in shorts. I had a couple successful ones. I remember I made one the day that Pokemon Violet and Scarlet came out. And it was me with a Squirtle plush, and he was sitting in the passenger seat of the car. And I just had the game next to him, and I played some music, and I talked about it being like a precious package or something. And in like 5 minutes, it got like 1,200 views. And the pretty neat thing was, like, using the analytics, you'll see that you actually do get a couple subscribers from that, and you hope that they'll check out your long form content after. Our channel specifically kind of specializes in long form content. Most of the podcasts between 30 minutes to 1 hour. So it's kind of a different ball game, where Chatin might think a video for him getting 400 or 500 views is bad. But if I get 150 views and people on average listen to it for 15 minutes out of that 45 minutes, it's quite a lot of watch time. So the analytics become a little more important when you focus on kind of one type of content. I've thought about doing some highlights of the podcast, and Chatin actually made me a beautiful highlight reel that we used on the channel for the channel's intro trailer. But how much do you focus on your analytics on Twitch, and how much does that affect what you're doing?
So, fun fact, I used to focus on analytics a lot, and I found myself, for lack of a better term, miserable. I would focus on follower numbers, sub numbers, growth, YouTube numbers. And this is when I was keeping a schedule and working full time. So I would stream Thursday through Sunday. I'd have 2 videos a week, one let's play and one highlight. I would have, what games I'm going to play. I had a long streak of Apex Legends. And after a while, you ended up getting burned out with kind of the schedule and the number crunch, the number game, whatever you want to call it. And I found since stepping back and not focusing on numbers and focusing on my community, my content, my enjoyment, and fostering that friendly environment for individuals to hang out in, that has made me significantly happier than ever focusing on numbers. So my number one advice to people going into streaming is have fun with it. Think about your content. Don't focus on the numbers, because in the end, you want your content to be your own, engaging, and the numbers aren't what's going to push that.
Yeah, I can absolutely agree with that. For me, probably the biggest measure of my success isn't even analytical at all. It's when I have people in my DMs or my comments talking about how they are consuming the show. And when I have someone that's got 10 or 20,000 subscribers on YouTube telling me that they listen to my shows while they're working, that's a big deal to me. When I have someone that says, hey, I have a 2-hour commute every day, and I listen to episodes of your podcast on the way to work, to me, that's a big deal. So even though, a number for a given episode might be small, when I see that the people that I care about are consuming the content in the way that I truly intend them to, like a radio show, and that's why we don't often focus on video. And that's why I often don't bother to patch in any kind of gameplay footage or anything like that, is because this is exactly how I want them to consume it. And I feel like when I do that, I hit the bullseye. So even though I, might look at the analytics and be like, oh, damn, only 150 people watch that. I'm like, but 10 people in the comments said that it had a great effect on their day. So for me, that's kind of what drives it. There's 100 different ways to measure your success, and some of them are numbers, and some of those things can be helpful, more so I think on YouTube, especially if you're making like fully scripted videos. You might be able to see where you're losing people's interest or something like that, but I completely agree. Beyond that, I wouldn't really look at it, because if you are consistently doing something that's engaging and something that you truly love and people can feel that, I think that you will be successful. Now, the time frame for that could be different from everyone, but I think everyone can get there if they really kind of keep at it. Would you guys agree with that?
I would, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would agree, and that's well said. Analytics have a part to play in growth, but focusing solely on that will not bring the healthy growth that you desire for your content, is my opinion on the matter anyway.
And when I was saying that the video did poorly earlier with 500 views, I didn't mean that it did poorly, because 500 views is plenty. What I meant is it did worse than the alternate version of the same video on a different platform.
Right. Yeah, one way or another, like it. Right.
It's just funny how the way YouTube shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikToks work, because I feel like some content works really well on one but poorly on another. For instance, the Pokemon stuff does better on YouTube, but the cat stuff does better on Instagram, and then TikTok I haven't figured out yet. So I just kind of got 1,000 followers one day off of one stupid meme video.
I'm pretty sure TikTok is dancing and pretty girls.
Yeah, probably.
But so kind of with the Twitch thing, so I know you were talking about discovery on Twitch and how that's a pretty rare thing, and it's not something that you should depend on. It's actually I'm kind of going for a niche, and it's slightly, I find it a little different than YouTube, because I'm focusing on streaming niche JRPGs and retro content, either on the restaurant or on the original consoles through a capture card. And not many people comparatively are offering that. So the other day I was streaming Fire Emblem in the Sacred Stones, and I was streaming that during the Super Bowl. And I had just probably 10 randos come in, and 5 or 6 of them actually subscribed. And so the thing is, if I make niche content like that on YouTube, it just won't get watched. So I think that there is a little play there if you're doing specific things. Like, for instance, what I was trying to offer with those like retro JRPGs is my narration. So I'm fully narrating it, kind of putting a little like bravado into narrating it. And it seemed to catch on with a few people. And we'll see how long that lasts if I can continue to do that. But I was surprised because I had totally heard that as far as like self-sustaining growth, that Twitch was not the place for that. And maybe a bit of luck, but it hasn't been my experience so far. But I am very like early in my career here. I literally just started doing it probably 2 weeks ago, but we'll see how long that lasts. Have you ever had any kind of self-sustaining growth on there?
So to kind of play off your point, I can understand the niche of getting into something that a lot of people wouldn't stream, but there is a cap on that. So an example is how many individuals are actually looking for retro games versus how many individuals on other platforms you could pull in to watching retro games. So there is a small amount of growth on Twitch. The most growth that I've seen have actually been from random kind of raids or hosts. Usually during events such as like a birthday stream or a New Year's stream or something of that notion, where I end up playing, like one of my most successful streams was playing 8 hours of Stardew Valley on, I believe it was my birthday. And hanging out and just chatting with everyone that came in and having a good
fun
time.
stream.
It was a very fun stream. So there is growth potential on Twitch. My thought on it is if you don't branch off to the other avenues that are available to you, you're going to hit a very hard cap, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I've also found it pretty effective to, what I've started doing is making polls, because I have a sizable Twitter following, about like 12 or 1300, and some of them interact with my content quite a lot. Making polls to see what people would like me to stream. So I'll pick like 3 possible games, make a poll with pictures, and see what they say. And then I follow that suggestion. And then, 5 or 10 minutes before I'm about to go live, then I'll put out on Twitter as kind of like a pre-notification, like, hey, we're going live with this, link it to the Twitch. That seems to be working pretty well so far. But a lot of that would probably have to do with how many followers you have on that platform that you're trying to bounce it off of.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, especially when it comes to Twitter. The benefit to something like TikTok or YouTube, depending on the time of day you hit your content, is you have a lot of discoverability as far as hashtags, categories, ease of consumption. Comparatively, like Twitter has a lot of users, but think about how many people are watching YouTubes or TikToks just on their phone while they're taking a break. So I think there is a huge benefit to branching out into all of those avenues and finding the strengths and weakness that work for you and your content in each of them.
For sure, because I can tell you that Twitter users do not like adverts for YouTube videos. They almost see them as spam. I've put out what I thought were like genius marketing things. Like I enjoy very much the marketing and community building aspect of this stuff. And I would put something out that I thought was like incredible as an advertisement, and it would get so little attention. And it also seems like built into the algorithm on Twitter is something that kind of artificially holds down certain types of content, and things that with links in them seem like they are held down. If you just look at the reach, if I have 1,300, followers on Twitter, and I post a text post and 1,000 people see it, and I post a post with 2 pictures and 800 people see it, and then my link to my damn YouTube thing is seen by 150 people, I'm like, wow, that is artificially held down.
It really is.
Yeah, I can definitely see it as from a Twitter standpoint, especially with all the changes that is going on with Twitter, good or bad. I'm not going to touch upon that here. is with any platform, Twitter included, is the company wants to keep you on that platform. So if you're creating text posts or polls that are engaging to your followers and users of that platform, I could see where it is promoted more than something that is trying to pull users away to an external source.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah.
For sure. That is definitely how they're making their money. So we're getting up to the break here. So we're going to take a break in a moment and see some little adverts for our guests and also some stuff that we have coming up on the channel. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what games we're playing and our history in gaming. So we'll be right back, folks.
Hi, chat. Have a wonderful day. Hello.
Oh, we got something here. Aroma Lady. Ooh, is that the alternate art? Definitely looks like it. Leafeon V. Wow. Oh, love it. That might be the alternate art. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Here's the code card. Oof.
Doing crazy dreaming. You're the reason why. I'm bothered, baby. Losing my mind. Don't try to save me. I feel alive. My world is faster and faster. The tears and the laughter. I'm here for the ride.
And we are back, folks. I am still here with Holy Shirt and Nelia Nelly. And on the second half of the show, we are going to be talking about what we're currently playing and what are some of our favorite games in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Holy Shirt. So Chatin, what you been playing recently, buddy?
So I've had a bad couple weeks health-wise. So I haven't played a whole lot. So I've played some DayZ. I got back into that because my brothers like to play that. That's a lot of fun. And then still Chivalry occasionally. I'll pop in for a match or two and then peace out. So not a whole lot this week. I've been kind of focusing on the unboxing or opening Pokemon content specifically because of just how I'm feeling. So definitely a lot more in the future. There are a lot of games that are in my backlog. Well, not really a lot, but a lot that I want to actually finish and actually give a shot. So
what games are you looking at there?
So Superfuse, it is a Diablo-esque comic book game. So basically it is Diablo style, asymmetrical action RPG. Except it's got a huge customization for like your skill and class tree, because you get like a couple different superhero types you choose from, and then like you go down one talent tree and you could be like Thor, you go down another talent tree and you're throwing fireballs, but it's Diablo style, like Diablo 2. And the loot and portals and stuff all work the same way. So that's been on my list for a while. Pokemon Snap 2 for the Switch. I got that 2 years ago when it came out and it's still unopened. Then I want to play, there's a lot more stuff I want to do in Chivalry that I just haven't been able to do. And then I want to finish up Way of the Hunter. And then there's a few other games that just aren't out yet that I want to play that come out later this year. One of them is called, I believe it's called The Blighted or something like that. Basically, it's like an apocalypse game, except it's based in medieval times. So like you're like knights and crap, kicking the crap out of zombies.
Nice.
And it looks very brutal and exciting. So that's what I want.
Good deal. Sounds like we're gonna have some fun with that one. So Nelia, what have you been playing recently?
All right, get ready for this gambit because they're not at all similar. So I still play World of Warcraft. I actually do kind of PvE and role playing content, but I've also been playing Final Fantasy 14, Realm Royale Reforged, which is a battle royale, Disney's Dreamlight Valley, which is kind of a combination between Animal Crossing and Stardew, Ark Survival Evolved, which I have far too many hours in.
You sure do.
Sure do. I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2 again, just kind of exploring what I haven't found. And to end off that gambit, Power Wash Simulator.
So how do you like that one?
It's very soothing. I played it a while ago on stream, probably 5 or so months ago, maybe longer, and they released some DLC, and it's a very nice game to kind of chill, clean surfaces without all the mess of actually power washing, and having a nice relaxing time. I do enjoy sim games for that reason, because you can engage in chat in your community very well, while also enjoying something that's less high octane than, say, an Apex Legends or a Realm Royale or an Overwatch, or something that requires far more focus than power washing the side of the Tomb Raider banner.
Nice. Good deal. So what are you looking forward to that's coming out this year?
That's a good question. The next Zelda game for sure. Tears of the Kingdom, I believe, is definitely on the list, but I haven't been paying attention too much to new games. I'm focusing on a lot of travel and conventions this year. I'm looking forward to Diablo 4, mainly because I want to play with, Holy Shirt and my friends. That's always held a soft spot for me. But yeah, I don't know that I have a ton of games that I'm looking forward to this year. I kind of want to try to get into my backlog, which there is a lot of.
So what do we got going on there? What are you looking forward to from playing from the backlog?
All right, so I want to finish Persona 5 Royale. I want to play a little more of 7 Days to Die, because that was really fun when I played with friends. And this is going to sound a little silly, but if you've ever heard of a game called the Coin Game, it is essentially like an arcade simulation game. So if you went to arcades growing up, played skee ball and all of those little fun machines, it's a really nice game to kind of get into and relive those days.
Nice.
Highly recommended if you like arcades. It's a small indie developer. And Tales of Arise is another one of the backlog that I want to get back to. So it's all over the spectrum, and I want to get back into the Yakuza game, which are a lot of fun. They're just very lengthy.
For sure. So me personally, I just finished up Fire Emblem Engage. I had played that for like a couple weeks straight, went crazy on that, trying to max out my units and perfect them. Find all the perfect formations. And then I was kind of talking about it before we came back. This morning I did a stream of an indie fighting game called Verdict Guilty. And traditionally indie fighting games are really rough, because the control schemes and the like combo systems and stuff are pretty exclusive, and they've always been kind of owned and perfected and honed by Capcom and Arc System Works. So normally when you have someone that isn't a huge producer of games making these indie games, that's where it really struggles. They may have great art direction and character design and music, but usually they just don't compare to Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or Blaze Blue. This game was incredible. It has like an 80s feel to it. It's in Seoul, South Korea, and it's 4 police officers and 4 criminals are the main protagonists that you can use. And there's a whole bunch of unlockable characters and bosses you can fight. And I was pleasantly surprised with everything in the game, from the art direction and music to the smoothness of the controls and the combo system. I really had a good time with it. So that was a nice surprise. And we're going to be streaming tonight. I had put up a poll. I think they may have chose the visual novel, Amnesia Memories. So we'll be checking that out. But there's so many huge releases coming up on the horizon. I am not interested in the new Zelda at all. I love Zelda, but I do not like Breath of the Wild. And I think Tears of the Kingdom will be more of that. So no interest there. But as I've always said, this is the year of horror games and JRPGs. So Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, That's the Fatal Frame game, the fourth one in the series that we did not get, will be coming to the US. I'm super excited about that. And then obviously at the end of the year, hopefully without any delays, we will have that Silent Hill 2 remake and a new Silent Hill game, which would be huge. And of course, the Resi 4 remake is going to be incredible as well. So a lot of good stuff to look forward to there. And I'm sure I'm going to be spending way too much money on that stuff. So the next thing I want to kind of talk about is kind of maybe not for me specifically, because I'm sure the listeners have heard it a million times. But Nelia, what like your history in gaming? What got you interested in gaming when you were a youth? And kind of what has been your trajectory through the world of video games?
Buckle in because it's a long one. So segue real quick. Fire Emblem Engage is also really enjoyable. I've been playing that off stream. Like you, I try to min-max some units. So growing up, my first game system was Atari 2600. My parents got it a while back. Showing my age a little bit here, obviously, that I had an Atari. And I just kind of fell in love with spending time on my own and playing that. And growing up, I was actually bullied pretty frequently through my, elementary, middle, and high school. So I actually turned to gaming as sort of an escape and worlds that I can dive into. And some of my fondest memories, and Chatin can attest to this, is playing games with my brothers and my cousins and playing our N64 or our PlayStation 2 and playing games together and kind of building that family value and friendship. I fell very heavily into JRPGs in the PS2 era. I'm sure if anyone has been around when the PS2 was active, that was a JRPG gold mine. I pretty much, if I could get my hands on a JRPG, I would. One of my favorite games of all time, and I know I'm showing my age, is Legend of Dragoon from PS1. I don't know if either of you have played that, but it is one of my fondly remembered games that I've played throughout my childhood.
You must be excited about the remake they're doing for it.
Wait a minute, they're doing a remake?
Yeah.
You got to link me because I have not heard anything and I'm really excited now.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
I don't know about the timeline on it, but people have been talking about it. So
I need it. Legend of Dragoon holds a very special. I remember beating Legend of Dragoon, staying up till about 2 a.m. And this was in high school. Going to high school and sleeping through my classes because I fell asleep at lunch because I wanted to finish that game.
That's awesome.
And I got detention for it. But, I finished the game, which is the important part. And kind of going into my adult years, because I will be honest, I am 35 this year. I've been gaming for a long while. I went from kind of the single player JRPGs and story-based games that I still play to this day to multiplayer games such as Apex Legends, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, very big into kind of MMOs and community games. And favorite native community game, Golf with Friends, prime for that. It is so much fun. So it's definitely evolved throughout the years, and I go to gaming conventions, or I try to go at least one a year around where I live, and it has been a part of my life since my childhood. And you kind of get the thought that, oh, someone's going to grow out of gaming, and no, I embrace it fully, and I cannot see myself stopping it. It is a big part of my family, friends, and entire lifestyle. And I want to change that for the world. It's been huge for me.
Good deal. So update on that Legend of Dragoon thing. So it has recently been, the original game has recently been added as part of the Classics collection on the PlayStation Plus premium plan. And the last rumors for the remake were in August 2022, when former president of Sony Interactive Entertainment, Shuhei Yoshida, tweeted about one of the composers making new songs for the game, but there has been no word since. So you'll be able to play the original on your PS4, PS5, and hopefully they are still working on that behind the scenes. So that would be pretty neat.
I hope so. I might have to whip out my OG PS4. I have a launch PS4 that does not get a lot of love, but if it's on PS Classics, I'm in. Sign me up, coach.
I love I love the launch PS4s, especially if they're well used. They eventually sound like a damn jet engine when you start them up.
They sure did.
Look,
My
it cannot.
son, my son had my original. I passed it down to him after I had got the Pro, and that thing would overheat, and it sounded like a generator running in like a closed up basement, and it overheated so bad to the point where he took the cover off of it to get it to run, so he could run a fan directly on the framework of it. And he ran it like that for quite a while.
I've done that to computers.
I do
That's
love
amazing.
that damn thing.
Although I don't know if it could spin harder than my 2080 Ti trying to an Ark Survival Evolved modded server, because that thing is not optimized in any way, shape, or form.
I think could probably catch nearby things on fire. Oh, Chatin, I don't know if we got into it too much when you were on last time, because we were kind of focusing on like the music and like ghost hunting and stuff.
Yeah, last time was a crazy episode.
What was your earliest gaming memory, and kind of what got you into what you're doing now?
So my earliest gaming memory, I got a Super Nintendo for my 5th birthday. And I know we covered this a little bit last time, but then went crazy. And then my mother had, I think, a Sega Genesis or whatever one had Primal Instinct on it, with like the raptor fighting game. Like that was a lot of fun.
I actually have that complete in box.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
And then I got an N64 a little further down, and PS1. Loved those. I played a lot of N64 actually at Nelia's house with her and her brothers. Banjo-Kazooie was our game.
Nice.
So that's one of my favorite games. And then my dad ended up playing Diablo 2 for the PC when I was nine years old or something like that. I was young. I was like 7, either 7 and 9. It was around there. It was like 2000. It's like right after the game came out. So how old am I? Yeah, so I was 7, my bad. And Diablo 2 got me into PC gaming, and I've been playing Diablo 2 off and on since it came out, and they have a remaster that came out in 2021, I think. And they're actually making updated content for it, which is amazing. Not long after Diablo 2, got into World of Warcraft. It's literally a huge part of my life. I've met so many good friends and on World of Warcraft that I still talk to today, even though I don't play, due to a number of reasons. I have a lot of the content of the game tattooed onto my body. I have one of the faction symbols on my left shoulder and a whole dedicated sleeve to the class Death Knight. So like there's like skulls and armor and the Lich King's helmet and Frostmourne and all this cool stuff just tattooed onto my arm. So I would say that gaming's been a big part of my life, and I enjoy it with family and friends. There are a lot of games that I would consider my favorite, and honestly, even though World of Warcraft is up there, it's probably like my number 2 or 3. Because of Diablo 2, obviously, and then also the Pokemon franchise. The Pokemon franchise was this. I mean, I still love it to this day. Like, I don't play all the games as much anymore, but I mean, I don't think I'll ever outgrow Pokemon. I don't care how childlike it seems.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the hell out of the last games. People were whining and bitching about it on Twitter, and I was like, guys, this is incredible. Get over your little glitches and enjoy the damn game. But for sure, I can identify with what both of you have said. I think I'm the elder statesman here. I'm 39. I started back on my sister's ColecoVision she handed me down with the controllers that looked like early cell phones, walkie-talkies. But I really came into it. I played Nintendo, Super Nintendo like any other kid. But PS1 was really my big thing. And that's where I really got into JRPGs, whether that was Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, Suikoden 1 and 2, Breath of Fire 3, Kodelka. there were so many games that absorbed my life at that point, that I don't think I could ever walk away from it. And obviously things have changed greatly in the JRPG scene. Games have changed a lot. A lot of games have got away from tactical combat or turn-based combat and gone to like an action RPG style. But I still enjoy that style of storytelling and that long form, grindy gameplay that a lot of people complain about is what I actually love about it. You know, in Suikoden, where you had 70 playable characters, I'm pretty sure that in one of my playthroughs, it was probably 300 or 400 hours. I got most of those characters up to the level where increasing them doesn't do anything anymore, because they never intended you to do that. So they could go to 99, but at 70, there was really no gain from leveling. So I always enjoyed the hell out of those games. And because of that, I could never walk away from it. And then obviously Resident Evil and Silent Hill made huge impacts on me, Dino Crisis. So I am forever indebted to the RPG and horror games, and I think I'll cover them forever. And they're often a topic on the podcast and on my YouTube channel. So don't think I'll ever get over them. So real quick, because he had mentioned it, Nelia, what would you say your top 3 games of all time are?
Oh, that's a tough one. All right. Well, to my cousin's point, World of Warcraft has to be 2 or 3. I have met so many friends. I've played with family. I've gone out and visited people in person on 3 or 4 occasions from that game. And some of them are my friends 10 years later. So World of Warcraft, I would put as a solid 2. As a 3, I'd probably, to echo Chatin's sentiment, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, playing with my brothers and my cousin and my family growing up, really just kind of solidified. To this day, Chatin, myself, and my brother, we still talk. We still game, despite all of us having different schedules and different, points in our life. And number 1, that's a really hard one. It's probably going to be Pokemon. I remember bonding in elementary and middle school before they banned Game Boys over Pokemon and Pokemon cards. And that is the actual time that I felt that I was having real friends outside of my family circle. And I love Pokemon to this day. The new Pokemon glitchy aside, I enjoyed thoroughly. I could talk about the end of the game, but without a spoiler warning, I won't. And how they've actually gone a little more into the storytelling for Pokemon, which I was sincerely surprised, because I got to the end of that story and went, oh, a Pokemon game actually did that. So Pokemon, Warcraft, Banjo, I'd say probably 4 is like Final Fantasy. So those all hold a very special place in my heart.
Good deal. Good deal. And I'm sure my folks know the Final Fantasy series would definitely be number 1, with Final Fantasy 7, probably the best piece of gaming media that forever changed the landscape of gaming. If that game didn't come out, we're not playing JRPGs now. And then I would have to go with the Suikoden series, and then the Resident Evil series. So, so we are getting kind of close to the end here. So I really briefly want to go over with both of you what your plans are for this year. So Chatin, what can we look forward to from your relaunch for the rest of the year?
So now that the relaunch has officially happened, there are a few things that I want to try to do. I'm gonna be releasing, or try to be releasing, 2 regular videos a week with a bunch of shorts and streams in between, as long as my health permits it. So I'm really only guaranteeing 2 videos because of health reasons. Starting out with Pokemon, like booster pack openings or unboxings and stuff. And then I have a lot of stuff that I want to do. Like there's a whole list of things like Chivalry. I want to record a Chivalry video, and I have a big plan for that, but I can't exactly spoil a ton of it yet, just because I think it'll do a lot better than some of my other videos. So I kind of want to keep it down for wraps. I want to get back into the live streaming, and kind of do Let's Plays that way, and take clips and the better the better of it out that way. I was thinking because how old my channel is. I've had my channel since September 2011, or actually maybe September 2010. And how old it is, and most of my subscribers are from like a video a year after that, when I had this one viral video of like 200,000 views. And then my algorithms kind of messed up. So I was thinking about making a second channel for some of those other things. So that's in the works as well. Just, still keep the main channel, but the second channel for some of the things to try to fix the algorithm a little bit, because the YouTube algorithm is really messed up.
Yeah, it's pretty yucky. But that sounds like a great productive year. So Nelia, what do you got coming up this year?
All right, so it's going to be a roller coaster of a year. I want to start editing my own videos again. I actually had a friend I was coordinating with to edit. So teaching myself to edit with a new program. I'd like to continue doing at least one short a week. Videos are going to depend, because sometimes I have to be on call for work. I mean, that's life. That's kind of is what it is. And I'm taking a lot of trips. So I'm going to PAX East this year. I'm probably going to BlizzCon, going to Japan. So I kind of want to throw some real life content into that. I don't really have a set schedule, but I'm hoping to get a proper camera, record, and see what I can do as far as mixing gaming and in real life content. And that has me really excited. So look forward to seeing some new content on YouTube and Twitch, hopefully soon. And I hope to see you all there.
Good deal. All right. So real quick, I'm going to throw it back over to Chatin. Can you remind our viewers, Chatin, where they can find you on all your platforms of goodness?
Yep, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I got another one, TikTok, all at Holy Shirt Pro. And I also have a Discord. I'll give Jay my link tree so you can have access to all that good stuff.
Absolutely, and we'll definitely put that down in the comments. Nelia, where can they find you on social media?
So a couple different places on Twitch and YouTube. You can find me at Nelia Nelly, same as the name here. On TikTok, it's Nelia Nelly TTV, and I can give you my links afterwards. Those are the three main platforms that I'm active on, and I'll also send you the Discord link, which is a nice little community. We post a lot of food and memes, which is my kind of jam. And I appreciate you having me on today. It's been a lot of fun.
Good deal. Well, of course, I definitely enjoyed having both of you on, and I'm sure that I'll have you guys on again in the future. As for us, over the next couple of weeks, we got a couple of big ones. We will be having Courtney, a wonderful creator from Scotland, as a guest on the show within the next couple of weeks. And we will also be having a special on mental health and other issues facing content creators. So really looking forward to those. They're going to be great, and we'll still have our normal weekly podcast with me and Allie and me and Phil One Up. So look forward to all that. Me, myself, trying to really lean into the Twitch thing. So hopefully I can continue the retro revolution and get everyone excited about my narration and wrestling promos on Twitch. And we'll see you all back here probably tomorrow, because we'll be having Allie on for our normal weekly podcast. So once again, Chatin, Nelia, thanks for coming on the show. It was a pleasure having you. Listeners, as always, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, stay creepy.